What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul,
Chris,
and Nate,
covering the Survivor 33 finale, which just aired. Well, it just finished 10 minutes ago on the East Coast. And oh my God, what a fucking season this has been. Okay, so just first thoughts, first thing that pops into your head when you think about this whole season in its entirety, all of you.
So fucking good.
probably best, or at least my favorite original cast season.
It's just been so amazing, and they also announced the Survivor 34, some of the Survivor 34 cast members, and they're bringing back a lot of old people. I think they'll bring back all old players, but we'll get to that later. So you guys want to do like a general recap, or you guys just want to jump right into the final three? It's up to you. I don't care.
General recap.
There's
a lot that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. All right, so we just had it's the final six now. They just blindsided Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of trying to figure out where to go from here. Obviously, everyone's scrambling, trying to find whatever. I want to talk about Dave making an ode to old seasons, making the fake idol. So let's just start with that. Thoughts?
I thought that was a genius idea.
It was amazing, and it was the best way he could possibly have implemented it, honestly. Like,
it looks so legit.
It looked legit. It had the insignia. He knew that if Adam or Jay saw it, then they were going to pick it up, and 50-50 chance it's going to be Jay. And he lucked out in that, and Jay found it. However, I will say that Jay is a little stupid because
he played so cocky.
Here's the thing. He should have known that he should have realized, at least, that the insignia matches the color of his tribe.
That's true. Chris, this is the first time you saw this implemented, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched past seasons. I've only watched this season, the one before that. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting on how he just decided out of nowhere, like, let's make a fake idol, let's put it somewhere. And I kind of thought that Jay would have been smarter and like realized that there was nothing like written in there, because usually when we see these idols, there's like something like, congratulations, you won the idol, you can play on the next tribal, and like nothing was there. And it's kind of in like a very obvious spot too. It was like behind a tree, and like it's open, it wasn't even covered with anything. So I mean, I kind of was like, why is he like so instantly believing that it is an immunity idol when there's nothing in there? But at the same time, I guess he just got very excited. That's Jay.
It's day 36. He's desperate for a change. Yeah. And so it's like...
he knows he's screwed otherwise, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so while we're at it, let's jump into the immunity challenge. So it's the six of them, immunity and reward, so they combined them both together this time. And this is the one with like the lock safe or whatever, and Jay's in the lead. He has it, like we don't know for sure what would happen, but he has it. He leaves his thing open. And what do you guys think about that? Big $1 million mistake, or do you guys think that even if he won that, he was still doomed anyway next tribal?
Somebody send him a master lock, because that's what he's going to be playing with for the next however many years until he's back on.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that he still would have been a target no matter what. I don't know if I think it would have been like David that left, then Jay, or a different combination of things, but I still think he would have been a shield no matter what.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think Jay probably would have won had he won that challenge, had he actually like not made that huge mistake. Just because it frazzled him. He knew that at that point he was no longer in the had as good of a chance as he did like seconds before. Frozen now.
No, you're good here.
Okay. You're good.
Okay. And then like he gets the puzzle. He's clearly frazzled. You don't want to be frazzled at the puzzle. And David wins the first puzzle he's ever touched in Survivor 1.
Yeah. David's good at puzzles. Finally real. Finally.
He's not bullshitting us.
After stealing the lock combination, taking him 5 tries.
Yeah. And so like,
go ahead.
Like, yeah, honestly, that definitely cost Jay the $1 million, because he got frazzled. He frazzled himself. It's his own fault. He's no one to blame but himself.
That's true. And let's talk about the strategy he did. Pulling out the reward and pulling in. I'm sure this was his strategy. Pulling in the 3 biggest targets in the game, and putting them together in this reward challenge so we can talk to them about a potential final 3. Probably his best bet at this point. No?
Yeah.
Would you
David
guys
has the
recommend-
idol. Well, David has the idol, and he took someone else, so it was kind of like more focusing on. It was more focusing on trying to have a good like established working relationship with David more than it was a working relationship with Adam. But at the same time, I still think they should have kept him around. I know obviously Adam won the show, but like I feel like if they did get rid of Brett, it still would have worked out either way.
It did seem like it would have been the best move for David.
Yeah, for sure.
Nate, what do you think?
To take out Jay, yeah, for sure. Like
No, to keep Jay in.
No, to keep Jay. Yeah.
to keep Jay, sorry. But no, that would not have been a good move. Just simply because the next challenge is another like puzzle-y challenge. We've seen Jay be able to like we had a similar challenge to this earlier in the season where it was like holding like the thing with the blocks on top. And trying to keep them steady. This is a very similar challenge. Anytime that there's an obstacle course, Jay's going to thrive. And so, like, I think it was a great move on David's part. He can't predict what the next challenge is going to be. Jay's proven that he's good at them, especially when there's a puzzle. Like, and all that David could really hope for is that it's like if he kept Jay's, that it's an endurance challenge, which usually doesn't happen until Final Four anyway. So taking out Jay, I think, was smart.
Okay.
And let's talk about where Adam was lying on that vote. Because Adam voted Jay. I'm thinking up the next one. Sorry.
They all voted Jay out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all voted Jay out. Okay, so let's jump into the next immunity challenge then. Unless you guys want to talk a little bit about gameplay in between.
The legacy advantage really amounted to nothing.
It really did. Yeah, it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah, I wish it had been something a bit better. Like he gets to steal the necklace or something, but it's like he just gets a free necklace. Like
here's the thing though. If Jay did have an immunity idol and Ken had his thing, because he was the only other vote, that could have been something if he had a real immunity idol. There would have been no votes, and
it had the potential of being a lot better than it actually was, but it honestly amounted to nothing. And honestly, but like production can't predict how a twist is going to be used. I mean, you can't they couldn't predict how Jay was going, like the fact that Adam wasn't ever going to use the reward steal and he gives it to Jay and Jay uses it, which is a brilliant move. Oh shoot, it was just a brilliant move by Jay, by the way, to use that when he did, because like he doesn't know like if that is going to be what's going to keep him or not. He has to do whatever he can to keep himself in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that completely. Chris, you agree?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm kind of more focusing on the next tribal because like it gets better after that.
It certainly does. So let's just jump into the next immunity challenge. So it's one of those. Basically, let's just get to the end with like the puzzle, the saying. Do you guys remember what the saying was?
Not a participation trophy.
Right, not a
participation trophy. It was designed for a Gen X to win.
Preach. Yeah, it definitely was. For those of you that don't know, everyone fucking knows. The millennial generation always gets a participation trophy, so they don't feel like they're secluded or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And like none of the millennials wanted to be out. In fact, I would argue that a lot more millennials played harder this season than the Gen Xers did.
Yeah, that's certainly true. I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, like more of the Gen Xers were just happy to participate than they were to actually play the game. It's so ironic.
I know. And it's not what you expect from the season, but
like Ken especially, like, yes, he was playing for his daughter, and if he won the $1 million, but honestly, like, he was like, you could argue that he was more there for the experience than anything else.
I agree.
So, yeah.
And we had great players on the millennial side. We had Zeke. We had Adam, obviously the winner. Hannah was a great player too.
Michaela was a great player.
No, Michaela was great. You could see that more of the millennials were pissed when they were voted out than the Gen Xers ever were. Like
even the first vote, Mari, she was like salty.
She was like, salty. Whoa. Michaela like was hitting like the smack in the tree. She was so pissed she forgot her shoes, as Jeff Probst said. And and then Figgy and Adam were pissed. Figgy was crying. Like, come on. Like, and you don't like the only person that was crying from the Gen Xers was Jessica, and that's because she made the wrong decision. And like, like, and I would cry if I was Jessica in that position as well. But like, regardless, like,
I know.
like
It's crazy.
the millennials were more like Gen Xers in this. They wanted it more, I think, than the.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It was a game most of them watched since they were kids, and they understood the game and they embellished it into themselves.
Yes.
And I think that's what's very interesting about the people that they picked on the millennial side this season.
Yeah.
We got to see all those people thrive in an area where they thought they were best suited, and they were best suited. And
you could also see that in like the final 3 as well. Like they gave it to the person that wanted it the most, I think. Like that's like Ken wanted it, and so did Hannah, but Adam wanted it the most out of the 3. So, and there's no denying that.
So back to the immunity challenge. Ken ends up winning the challenge. Right, that was Ken?
Ken won Final 5, yes.
Yes, Ken won Final 5, solidifying himself for Final 4, which is, great for him. He won a lot of immunity challenge. One thing I have to give to Ken, even though he's not the most strategic player, he's a very loyal guy, obviously, but he's also a comp beast. I think
he almost had the record.
Him and Jay were the 2 comp beasts, and ironically, one is a Gen Xer and one's a millennial, and played very different games too.
Oh yeah.
Chris, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that Ken and Jay are very good fucking competitors. They've won almost like everything. I just think that Ken is. I hate how he constantly brings up the loyalty thing. Like I understand, like that's his like motto. Like loyalty is like important or what and stuff like that. I just think that if he was loyal to the right people, or maybe didn't constantly talk about it the whole game, he probably could have won, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably true. He had a lot of good opportunities in the game where he could have twisted his game around and said,
especially because he had a lot of power being safe constantly over and over and over again. And he was just, all he was kind of doing was being, no offense, but he was kind of being David's puppet the whole time.
Yeah.
Up until the very end.
He ironically, even though he was winning challenges, was floating his way through, maybe not floating is not the right word. Coasting his way through the game.
Ken was just a tool in both senses of the word throughout the entire season. He was being used, and then he's a tool in the other sense, in the fact that he had an ideology and then he went back on it at the very last moment he possibly could. And he's saying, oh, that makes me a good game player. No, it makes you a terrible game player because you just flipped your entire reason for being in the game. So
exactly. And that's one of the reasons, like, if you watch any of these early seasons of reality shows, Survivor, Big Brother, people frown upon people flouting the loyalty card and then turning it, and then at the end saying, yes, I was a loyal player. No, you're not a loyal player. We all see you for what you are. You all saying this, it's not true. So it's almost, and when Ken says he's like a throwback to an old generation, I truly do see that.
Yeah. Had Ken been on, like, in the first few seasons, he probably would have won. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, he probably would have won. And like, there's no denying that he's that good at challenges. He is that easy. He's an easy person to talk to, despite the fact that he says that he's very socially awkward. But he's a very easy person to talk to. And I think had he been on seasons 1 through 5 rather than seasons post 31, he would have won.
All right, so now let's talk about Hannah's position right now, because how Nate always says the person who's in the middle is always in the strongest position at that period of time. So Hannah was in the middle. Adam finds an immunity idol. Let's first talk about how crazy that was. I did not expect that either. So let's talk about those two things specifically. Hannah being in the middle, playing it very well. Like she's
playing it well, but I think in a weird twist of fate, it honestly screwed up her game.
Well, we'll talk about that once we get to tribal council, because I do have something to talk about with Hannah.
But yeah, so like Adam finds the idol. I think he made a big mistake in the fact that he told people that he had the idol. Like he should have learned from his first time that you should never tell people you have the idol. He should have learned from Jay.
Well, that was the only time he could use it, right? He can't use it at Final Four.
he can't use it Final Four, but he should have kept it a secret. If he had kept it a secret, David would have gone home, and that would have been undoubtedly his move and his move alone. And
so what you're saying that is you're saying that because he told people that he had the immunity idol is why
yeah,
Brett left.
he lost his chance, and that like on it like when he told
And
people,
that
I'm
got
like,
Brett home.
yeah, and they like it sent Brent out, and like Brett would not have won. He would not have won. There's no chance in hell he would have won.
That's why I want to go back to that's why I want to go to tribal council once we talk about that, because I think one person in particular made a fucking humongous big mistake.
Well, let's jump into let's jump into tribal council right now, because I agree with you here. And what's ironic is what's ironic is that I think the player you're going to say that made a big mistake is ironically one of the choices that I picked to win, getting another player I picked to win out of the game.
Yeah.
So, Chris, go ahead and explain.
So there's 5 people, right? So there's 5 people. Hannah is right in the middle, and she had a choice by taking out either David or taking out Brett. So this is her choice to figure out who she's taking to the final 3. Personally, I think, strategically, I think she had a really good chance taking Ken and Brett to the final 3. I think she had a better argument with that. I think that should have been her move, but she fucked up. She made a big no-no. She made a big no-no. She I don't know what the fuck made her think that keeping David was a good idea, because it wasn't. It was the stupidest idea.
Because we've seen that Adam cannot win challenges under pressure. One, so had David gone, Adam would have been the new big target, and so like regardless of Brett being in the game, Brett was not going to win, and I don't understand where they're coming from. Yes, he's likable. Likable doesn't win you $1 million. Hannah and Ken are both likable. They didn't win. It's like it. People need to get out of their heads that likable wins, especially in a season like this, like post Cambodia, and like granted, like they have seen Cambodia. Post Cambodia, likable does not get you the win. It does not do it. It's what gives your best strategy. That the best strategy at the final 3 gives you the win. That is how the game is played now.
Being likable could get you to the end, but being likable does not get you the win. You have to have the moves to back it up.
Right, and that I want to talk about that. So if that were to happen, and if it would have been if Hannah were to have voted out David, and then voted out Adam after that, it would have been Hannah, Ken, and
Brett.
Sorry.
I think Brett would have gotten 3rd. I think Hannah would have won. I think Ken would have got 2nd. Because Ken, well, here's the thing. Here's my reasoning. I don't think Brett would have gotten a single vote. I think Ken would have gotten 1, maybe 2, because at that point he can say that I was this loyal person. I stuck to my guns every single tribal council, and like I did it all the way. He would probably be the first person to say that, like that he legitimately did it all the time in like post I guess post All-Stars season 8. So like it's like, because I'm sure people did it before then. I can't think of any at the moment. But like,
don't worry about it.
But like, regardless, I think he would have maybe gotten some votes there. But I honestly believe that Hannah would have had the votes to win at that point in time had she voted out David and then Adam.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. All right, so the vote ends up going out. It's 3-2. Adam plays the immunity idol on himself, obviously, and we have Brett being sent home. And he says, "Congratulations, David, you're the winner." Basically, I mean, I guess we'll see. Well, we already know, because I think we already watched. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the picture that I'm going to use for the thing. It's just the final 3.
Yeah. So final. All right,
4. So let's jump to the final 4. Adam's obviously very upset with Hannah at this point, and Hannah acknowledges, "Yeah, I did what I had to do because I wanted to solidify my trust with Ken," which is kind of dumb.
That's really stupid.
Whatever.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, we already discussed Hannah's game. I don't think we need to go over that again. But like, but yeah, like Adam, honestly, at this point, I think Adam, like as soon as, despite the fact that Brett went home, I still thought that Adam had it, just because like, as long as it wasn't an endurance-based challenge, Adam was going to win, because what's it called? David, that's his forte. endurance-based challenges are what he is best at. There's no one in the game left that can really stand up to David in an endurance-based challenge, except maybe Adam in certain circumstances. If it's just physical strength alone, Adam will beat David. But if it's like just hold up your hands for as long as you can, David's going to win. So,
so let's talk about what that challenge ended up being. So it was you had to carry this disc.
The bowls, yeah.
Yeah, these bowls or whatever they were, disc bowls, with like this stick, and you had to propel it like through this small little maze, and then stack one on top of the other. You get 30 minutes. The first person to 13 wins immunity.
Yeah,
or the person with the highest after 30 minutes. So this was an intense competition. Everyone had their own strategies in this. So I want to talk specifically about two people's strategies that I noticed because David they didn't really show David too much in this. But I want to talk about Ken's strategy and Adam's strategy just in the first 30 minutes. So Adam's strategy was kind of like a wait and see strategy, when Ken's was, and I guess Hannah's too in a way, I'm just going to keep going. What do you guys think about these strategies? I
think Adam played it correctly. Like he didn't know like how bad the wind was going to be. And when Ken's bowls fell, that put Adam in the right position. He just didn't need to touch it. He can't control the wind. So like Adam, literally, but in this game, but like Adam, I think he played it the smartest. It just so happened that his timing, like the timing that he couldn't predict, was bad. So yeah, like I can't really fault Adam. I think Adam played the best. Ken ultimately won, obviously, but however, I would like to note that this is the third time that they've done this challenge. They did it before for Survivor. They did this for Final Four and Survivor One World, which was season 24, and they did this as a redemption duel in season 27, Blood versus Water, and Rupert was sent out through this challenge. But and we probably had one of the most dominant female winners win because of this challenge as well, in Kim. But so like ironically, like they also made this challenge harder because it used to be only 10 bowls and this time it was 13. So like
it's easy to get to 10. Everyone got to 10 at some point, I think, except David, maybe.
David got to 10 at one point and then it fell over seconds later. So he would not have won regardless because he needs to stay up for 5 seconds. But
right. So Chris, your thoughts on their strategies in this and about the tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker part you're talking about?
Well, whichever part you want to talk about.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think their strategies are actually really good. I think waiting is a good idea, especially since it was really fucking windy. I was like, yes, Adam, go for it. Like, just wait and let Ken fall down, and then see. Hopefully, yours will stay together, and it didn't. But yeah, I'm glad Hannah. Like, I thought she was going to win that one. I think that would have been really great to have as like her kind of like her resume going into the final three. If she were to have won at least one competition and say that was the competition that I got David out of the game, I feel like that would have been good. Other than having Ken win it because he wins everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
had Hannah or Adam won the challenge, I think they would have easily been able to manipulate that into their favor. Hannah, the most that she could say was just like, I duked it out with Ken. Like
that was
like for that could be a mark for her, but ultimately amounted to nothing. So
yeah, and it would have been a huge mark for Hannah if she had won, because I don't think
she had won. Oh, big time. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was expecting her to win the challenge. Actually, I thought Ken was going to drop it right at the end. So
because she would have had, that would have been the last challenge, and she would have won immunity in the last challenge, which really would have brought home her entire game of growth.
Yeah. Yes,
and that would have helped. That could have helped with the jury if she did win that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. So Ken ends up winning after the tiebreaker, 5 minutes. I believe he get up to like 11 or so.
Yeah, he gets up pretty high. Like.
Yeah, pretty high, and Hannah loses, unfortunately. So Ken wins, whatever, immunity. And then we get into all this talk about convincing, and this is something I'm going to bring up again later when we get to the questioning, because maybe something happened that they didn't air, and I don't know if this influenced anyone's vote at all, but I'll mention this later. So we have Hannah trying to convince Ken heavily to vote out David. and we have Adam there just kind of practicing building fire, talking to David, being like, "Listen, I'm voting for you. You're voting for me. We both know where we stand." So, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think maybe Adam should have been trying to push more, or what do you guys think is going on in Ken's head at this point?
Well, if Hannah can't convince Ken, why would Adam?
Yeah,
That's how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's so
I mean,
funny how that
they
went
did,
down
though.
because Adam literally had nothing to do with Ken flipping. It was
But
entirely
do you think?
Hannah.
But do you think that Hannah really did convince Ken, or do you think Ken was like, "I can't win against"?
I think
David in the final
I
three?
honestly think Hannah convinced him, and I think it was just Ken. Like, I think it got to the point where it was like he begrudgingly did it. Like, he didn't want to, but he like, it was like, I really don't want to do this, but I see your point, and I'm gonna have to. So, and that's where Ken lost the game.
Exactly,
So,
and it was Hannah's move, but later on during the questioning, I forgot who it was. I think it was Chris. He attributed it to Adam, and Hannah didn't say anything, even though she was interrupting.
she should have.
She interrupted almost everything Adam said, and the one time, like, it didn't really help her for the most part. But the one time where I think it would have helped her was right then.
Yes. So yeah. Instead, she let Ken take it, and Ken's not good at convincing anyone. So, it's, but yeah. So Final Four, like, honestly, like, it was honestly Ken's decision. Ken decided who won the game, and if he had let it go to fire, David would have won because obviously, like, David has been making fire throughout the game. He would have easily beaten Adam, because I don't think Adam did it much, if at all. We saw him trying, and it didn't look like he was doing well with it at all. And then he decided to flip, and that decided Adam was going to win. So it was really just an Adam versus David at that point.
It was very exciting to watch that tribal council, because when that last vote came and I saw David, I don't know about you guys, I shit my pants.
Yeah, I was like, "Go, Ken, go, do it." I was so fucking happy. I was like,
I was so happy that Adam was safe. It would, I think, like if David had gone to the end, he would have deserved the win.
Yeah,
but from a story point of view and just finality to the season, I was happy to see Adam go to the end.
Yeah.
All right, so they vote out David. Finally, he's been a target for.
Oh my god.
He's been a target since the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's true. And he's been slithering. Well, not slithering, but he's been like edging his way out of these tough situations. I think finally they get.
I think the only tribal council where he wasn't a target was the one that CC went home. Like,
yeah.
Like,
what's so ironic about this is that the one that puts the final knife in him was his ride or die.
Yeah.
I think it's a fitting end.
Yeah.
And it also ruined Ken's game, like Nate says.
I might have predicted that, honestly. Like, I want to go back into the tapes and say I think I did say that one of them was going to betray the other. So
it would have. I would have more than likely have guessed David, but you know,
like I would have guessed that probably Ken would have gotten too big for his britches, and then David like knifing him in the back. But
who'd have thought it would be the other way around?
Yeah.
Crazy how this whole season went. All right, so we get to the final three. Okay, so you know everyone's just talking amongst each other. You got Ken sitting alone. The millennials talking to one another.
That was such a funny moment. He's like, you know, these damn millennials. I wish they would just shut up and appreciate the moment.
It was hilarious. Oh man. All right, so after that little moment, they finally get to the questioning, and that's when the jury starts like hammering the final three. I didn't see too much hammering this season. Did you guys notice that?
It was more like they gave an opportunity for Adam to just express why he should win.
And Hannah too. Yeah. They also gave Hannah a shot too. I noticed with the questions as well.
I think that just kind of speaks to the season where they're like, we want to concentrate on the strategy of the season. What did you do to actually put yourself in this position to win? So it really just shows the sportsmanship of the people that were on the jury. But as it was like, this was like a Jeremy Collins versus like Spencer and Tasha moment. Like, it really was. It was the exact same scenario. Like, Adam played the best game out of the three of them. Ken was a loyal person who didn't divulge from them at all. Made some moves very early in the game, or Ken did, excuse me, and didn't really do anything after that. And then you have Hannah, who believes that she is the best player left in the game, only to be just completely shot down by a very emotional moment by the person who's going to win. So,
and I want to talk about this final three because I'll just a little bit because 2 out of the 3 of these final 3 members ended up being people that Chris and I both predicted would win this season. But when this was back when
Adam.
You predicted Adam?
I predicted Adam.
This is an amazing
MVP in my draft. Hello.
This is an amazing final 3 because I predicted Hannah, Chris predicted Ken, and Nate predicted Adam. So we all had this is the final 3 right here.
Guys, we made final 3.
Oh man. So at least one of us was right about it.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can get from preseason pictures, but I'm proud of us. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm proud too. We nailed it. but yeah, so
get the tapes.
Yeah, honestly though, I think going into the final tribal council, I think everyone watching knew if Adam revealed that his mother had cancer, he won.
I agree.
Yeah.
And he played a good enough game where it was just that was the foundation for it. Then you throw in the emotional story and he's got it. There was no contest.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because
100%.
everyone did a lot of growing this season. Not only Ken and Hannah, but you also have people like Jay, like David, even Sunday. Sunday was not in the edit much, but from the Ponderosa videos as well as the posts.
I saw the Ponderosa
interviews. Yeah, and Jessica to an extent as well. They all grew. It was a very common story this season. Zeke too, and I can't believe I forgot about him. But they all had personal growth stories, and that was nothing new for this cast. If you had personal growth, so what? So did half the people this season. It was not. You had to have something more, and Adam had it.
That's fair. And the timing on when he said that bit was perfect. It was the last thing that was shown before the vote.
Yeah, and you know that Jay had his back, and I'm I haven't seen the Ponderosa videos for tonight, but I am very certain that Jay probably was advocating for Adam to win if he got to the end.
Right, and I'm sure Jay had a big influence on both Tails and Michelle.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Of course. All right, so let's get to what the vote ended up being. And wow, holy shit!
How many unanimous winners have we had? I think Adam's the 4th unanimous winner now.
10-0.
I have no idea.
I think they merged at 13. So it was 10. Yeah, 10-0.
10-0. It's an amazing feat. But like Nate says, it has been done before.
3 times.
But
not a perfect game, though. He didn't get a perfect game. He has been voted for at previous tribal council. So close, but not quite.
Close, but no cigar. But it's hard to play that perfect game. Has anyone done that, Nate?
2 people. And only one of them you can really call a truly perfect game, and that was JT Thomas in Survivor Token Teens. Never received a vote to be voted out and received every vote to win. Jeremy Collins, you could say played a perfect game, but he was voted for. The only reason why it is considered a perfect game was because he played an idol and they didn't count. So you could say that JT is the only person to play a truly perfect game, but to play the definition of a perfect game that it's been done twice.
It's based on everyone's perspective, right? Let us know down below what you think about which one's the real perfect game. Is it okay, just whatever, just let us know. But all right, so we have the 10-0 vote, and we get into Adam's story. Very emotional. We find out that right after he got back home, literally an hour back after he gets home, his mother dies from cancer, which is very sad.
Yep.
I
believe it was it was 2 days after filming ended, and he didn't get back until the day that it happened.
Which is an incredible story, and it's just that really was seeing him again really was keeping her there.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not dwell too much into the emotions because we're not involved.
I feel for Adam, but I'm also happy for him that he was able to do this and that he knew he won. There's no way in hell he didn't think he won when he walked out of that final tribal council. I think everyone there knew that he had won.
Oh yeah.
He went there. He knew he came back a winner, and he was able to tell his mom that he had won Survivor. It wasn't official, but everyone knew.
Everyone knew. And all right, so let's talk about some of the stuff that happened on the what do they call that? The post show?
Oh, the reunion.
Right, the reunion. Duh. All right. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about what went on the reunion. We find out some things.
Taylor's a dad.
Yeah, Taylor's a dad.
Yeah.
I was like
I find it funny that Ken is thinking that Jay is following in his footsteps when it's actually that's Taylor that's following in his footsteps.
Yeah.
It's like Ken, who is probably the most representative of the Gen Xers, and Taylor, who's the most representative of the millennials. How are the parallels here? So
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But Tails had an interesting personality this entire season, and Ken did as well. One was very firm, and one was very flexible.
Yes.
So they represent the epitome of millennials versus Gen X. Yeah. I feel.
Yeah, it was they were so firm or so flexible, respectively, that they didn't care. that was literally. They were the parallels. It was so interesting because each tribe had a parallel to another person on the other tribe. So it was very interesting how that worked out.
I agree. It was very, very entertaining to watch. So the more important aspect that I think people watch and care about is the next season, and I forgot the name of it, but I already included
Game Changers.
Game Changers. I included it in the tags for this video already. Survivor Game Changers, and they brought out, was it 8 people?
Somewhere around there, yeah. So they brought out Tony first. They revealed Michaela. We already know Zeke's in there, even though they didn't say it. Ty. Ty's back, which is great.
Ty's back.
They brought out Caleb, which I thought was an odd choice to show, but here's the thing. Caleb was a game changer, but it had nothing to do with anything.
No way. He was a fucking game changer. Bullshit.
Here's my argument for why he's a game changer. He's a game changer. It's not because of anything he personally did. He's a game changer because of what happened to him and because of what happened throughout the game because of the fact that he left. That's why he's a game changer.
That's not enough.
And I also think they want to bring Caleb back because they felt bad for the fact that he kind of almost died. So they're basically production's we're sorry you almost died. Do you want to come out and try to kill yourself again? That's what it is.
I saw a tweet today, early this morning with Caleb with a picture with Paul Abrahamian, the winner. Well, not the winner. Oh my God, say already said
the runner-up, unfortunately.
The runner-up. The runner-up on BB18 with the picture of Caleb today, and I was like, what's going on here? And it ends up Caleb's on Survivor 34. And I know you said the cast was already revealed, so did you already know that, Nate?
I already knew that, yeah. It's floating around on the internet. I'm sorry for any of you that are trying to avoid spoilers, and now I've tempted you to look. But I think that revealing half the cast in one night is going to probably intrigue people enough and probably also disappoint people. I was very pissed off to see Ozzy again because he was revealed, and they revealed Ozzy, and he comes down, he's just look at me, and I'm just dude, get off the stage. No one likes this.
Get off the stage.
There's a very small group of people who like the Ozzy bots, and Ozzy just. He's not as good as he was in the first or second season. After season 2, he gave his season 16, his second try. He gave into his own hype, and he believed he was the best player to ever exist. He's not.
Has he ever won?
He has never won. He got second by 1 vote in Cook Islands, but and that was simply because he just impressed so many people. He tied the vote for most challenges won by single player in one season, and that's really it. And but Yule was just a better player, and that's why Yule beat him.
Right.
But,
so
yeah,
he's in basically because he's a comp beast, basically.
Yes, yeah, and he didn't he did change the game a bit. Like he made his season in particular challenges were everything because Redemption Island was in the game, and he's the only person to be voted off 3 times in one season. Like that just shows you how good of a player he is. He is the only person to be voted off 3 times. Like that is not an achievement you want in Survivor.
It's certainly crazy. Let's talk about some of the other players that they revealed. Nate, go ahead. We'll just have you.
Okay, they revealed Sandra. Happy Sandra's back. Don't think she's going to win. That's just simply because she's won twice. There's no way in hell they're going to let her win a 3rd time. If she gets to the end again, and from spoilers I'm hearing, spoiler alert, she does not get to the end. But like they'd be stupid to let her get to the end, because if she gets to the end, regardless of what she does, if she gets to the end again, clearly she's doing something right, and you have to vote for her. So it's like they're not going to let her get to the end. Happy Cerie's back. Very happy Cerie's back. Especially
I'm very happy Cerie's back too. I want to see her play again too. Oh, they showed some season 16 clips. I was so happy.
Like she was the kingpin of season 16. She should have won season 16 beyond a doubt. And because she should have won her first season, but Terry, the comp beast, was on that season, so unfortunately she couldn't. And Terry also had an idol during that Final Four tribal council that prevented him from getting voted out. So that was
she lost season 16 because of that big flip. Oh, it's not a final 3, it's a final 2. Haha, gotcha.
Yeah, and that was only because there were 3 people eliminated because other than tribal council. 1 quit, 2 medevacs. That's the only reason why they had a final 2, and that's nothing that she can actually do. And Amanda almost didn't keep her. Amanda actually said in post interviews that she almost kept Cirie, and then she realized that Cirie was the best player. So, yeah,
right. And we'll see how she does in the next season with all these other past members again.
Like Cirie, I think Cirie's been out of the game just long enough where she will be a threat, and people are still remembering Heroes versus Villains because that was her last season, and she was the 4th person out on that season. This is to prove that she can actually kick it with All-Stars. So I'm happy that she has a second. She's the one I'm most excited about for this season.
Hoping they bring back Mariano again.
I doubt it. He said he's done. He's won. He's done.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I missed that smile.
If they do a final season, I'm sure he might be tempted to do it, but I think he actually is done because he's done what he wanted to do. So, but
Fair
yeah,
enough.
and then Michaela's coming back. Happy she's getting a second chance. She really deserves it. And then who else did they reveal? Oh, Sierra Easton from Blood versus Water. I'm glad that they showed the rock draw rather than the mother getting voted out, because that was the better move and the more game-defining move that she made rather than voting her mom out. Like, voting her mom out, whatever. Like,
it's a game.
It's the game. Like, yes, you're voting your mom out, and that was probably a mistake, but, like, the game-changing move was forcing it to go to rocks. Like, so... I'm so pumped for Game Changers. It's great.
I'm so pumped too. It's going to be a great season. That they've already, like, everyone there, they were already on the season. It's already done, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's already been
wow.
done. Tony. Oh yeah, and I'm very happy Tony's getting a second chance. I thought they were going to save him for a Heroes versus Villains season, and I like how they showed that his Spy Shack is his game-changing move when it's completely not. His game-changing move was the fact that, like, one, he's the first cop to ever win Survivor or get, like, and he's tied with what's her face, Sarah, for the first cops to ever get to the merge, by the way. And then they broke the cop curse. And then on top of that,
Brett made it past too.
Brett made it past too, but Sarah and Tony were the first. And he is the only person. He completely dominated his season. He didn't even need the idols. He flipped consistently over and over and over again. Like, he took Russell Hantz's game, like, post Russell Hantz from season 19 to season 27. That was the post Russell Hantz game. Season 28 and after, that's post Tony Velachos game. Like, that's, like, he changed the game by himself.
And right now we might be entering a new era. Do you think?
We've already entered a new era. Like, so.
Well, what's it called now?
It's post Cambodia. Like, I don't know what we can call it. the name I would propose is to change the probably here's what I would propose. I would propose calling season 1 through 8 old school, season 9 through 20 middle school or 19 middle school, and then 20, 21 to 27 like the probably like the forgotten era, just because there's so many bad seasons, like bad in quotations, just forgettable seasons in that era, and then 28 after would probably be new school, I think.
All right. So I think we're gonna end it here. The finale is about to. I think it's about to end on some isles of the coast right now. So we'll probably be seeing a flux of those viewers. What's up? All right, so if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you that enjoy our content, we're going to be taking a small hiatus because there's no more seasons to do right now.
There's no more.
Big Brother's over, Survivor's over, but we will be back in a few months. We will be doing a cast analysis for Sequester 7.0. Chris, I'm sure, will do one with his Sequester alumni. We will be doing BB Canada 5, so be excited for that. And we're obviously going to be doing Survivor 34 Game Changer. So
which
everyone,
we have a date for now.
Hey, what is it?
What's the date?
I believe it is let's see here. It's in March. It's actually late this year.
Wow.
It is March 8th.
Okay. And expect a cast analysis for that sooner than later because the cast was leaked. And we'll have a great opportunity to talk about it. I'm very excited. All right, so please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you guys for watching. For those of you that have been watching from the beginning, you're awesome. And until the next game to recap, peace.
See you guys.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, guys.
2017.